Hi, welcome to Comic Talk. I'm Josh.
And I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? In the paper, the news, every day I am. Radio won't even play my jam.
This is our weekly pull list review for March 2nd. All right, fantastic. We have 3 issues to talk about this week. Kind of a shorter week. We've had a bunch of stuff the last few weeks. We finally get a little bit of a reprieve here. But a lot of good stuff. Like all 3 of these are cool. This is Dreaming Eagles number 3. We've got Batgirl 49. And did you get to 49? Need to do a few more. And Sheriff of Babylon number 4. So we're going to start off talking about Dreaming Eagles. This is Garth Ennis and Simon Colby, also with Khaleesi? I don't know, man. Weird name. He shouldn't have a name like that. I'm not into it. And Steen.
So Dad gets his first kill. I mean, there's a lot of interesting shit going on in this. I mean, just based on the fact that it's a historical quasi-fiction thing and war is a complicated thing. And, you know, now 70 years from that, we have so much perspective on it. I mean, just there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in this one. Not to say that it wasn't interesting or enjoyable. I liked this one. Maybe not quite as much as I liked last issue, to be honest, because this feels more transitionary. Like there's another big story to tell coming up, and we're setting that up a little bit. I could be wrong, but that's the way it feels.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting seeds in this one. And it even ended with like the big, setting up like the big reveal for next time. It's going to be an exciting thing, I guess. Yeah, we got the guy with the glasses. We don't know the significance of him yet. There was the little bits about how they're getting shit on by this one guy, and then the other guy had to go up to like vouch for him and stuff. So, I mean, I do think we get some interesting perspective in this one. Not as much probably as the last one.
Right. We're just learning a lot about some of the characters and the ins and outs of what it was like, I guess, to be there. And awesome art.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
It's one of those ones where you just open it and you look at the first page and you just take it in. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it really was. And it's like you mentioned while you were reading it, that you kind of had the opposite reaction that we had last time, where we both last time really flew through the narrative and the dialogue and lost track of some of the art. But this time, I felt the same way through most of this issue. The artwork was really driving a lot of the action and narrative here.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, I mean, it starts off on a super high note, just like a full page panel, and then doesn't let up from there. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. This is really still a really great book. Maybe not my all-time favorite thing that I'm reading right now, but it's pretty high up there. And it's definitely a good change or a little more offbeat from a lot of the other things you read in comics.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't think of anything comparable to this that we are or aren't reading. I don't think anybody else is doing like a historical comic right now. And it's a publisher that we hadn't been reading anything from. And it's Ennis, so I'm glad we're reading it. Oh, there was that one moment where the kid's like, I have to go to the bathroom, and he's like, oh, I was just going to tell you about my first kill, and he's like, I'll hold it, and he sits back down. I really hope there's a scene later where he's like, bro, I just like really gotta pee. He still hasn't gone, in storyline.
Yeah, it's really just one evening of them sitting out on the porch, and I think the whole point of that was really to bring us back in and like, this is still the same day. I know it's 2 months later that you're reading this, but it's one evening.
Yeah.
This will read really good in trade. I think this would be a fantastic trade. But it's so good, I just want to keep reading it each month as it comes out.
I hope he pees in like issue 7.
Yeah.
4 from now. Yeah.
That'll just be what that issue is. Let's talk about Batgirl number 49. This is Stuart Fletcher, and then a whole bunch of artists, Tar, of course, and then like Dominique's and Robinson and Doyle and Harvey and LaPointe. Tar is obviously the series regular on this. LaPointe's been the colorist for quite a while. And all these other artists, I think they brought them in mostly because there's a lot of dream sequence stuff, and it helps give it some more flair, give it different styles by having different people ink each little dream sequence.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get to that. But before that, the general gist of this is that Frankie and Black Canary are doing their best to sort of put her mind back together.
Can I just say that this issue is what Batman could have been?
Oh my god, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, because I was reading it and I was like, why couldn't Snyder have just done this?
Yeah.
Like, even the art through those sequences was so fucking cool, and it was like there was the nod to like the Killing Joke, which is the big one that I recognize with her, and there's probably some others that I'm just not aware of, but the way that the coloring and the art was done on those made it look like it was on the old shitty paper. Like, I even like rubbed my finger on it to see if it was the same shit or not. And yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, this is a really cool issue, and it still manages to keep the Batgirl feel and style, but goes on this crazy, trippy, inside your dreams story that only works in goofy comic book world, but manages to at least feel like it's earned throughout the issue.
Like, it's still light and everything, but it gets a little bit dark. I mean, it belongs in the Bat realm, I guess, in that aspect. Like, it's not all Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, but it does continue to have a little bit of the Saturday morning cartoon.
Which is one of the reasons why we liked it. Just
Right.
in contrast for all the super heavy shit.
Right, and it feels like some of the good DC cartoons like Young Justice and stuff like that we've both enjoyed.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a superior version of that stuff. The way they handled putting her mind back into her was so much better than the way Snyder did it with Batman, where, as we joked, it was like a philosophical solution to a technical problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas with this, we actually just get like this ham-handed technical solution. It's very cartoony, let's readjust the milliwatts in the Jiggemeister and then do the mind meld, but at least it feels consistent, and within universe it makes sense.
Yeah. The other day I was putting in like a USB drive, and like the classic thing is like you try to put it in one way, it doesn't work. And you try to flip it over and it doesn't work, and you flip it over again and it works.
Right.
So like just the Snyder Batman narrative over that, like, it has to be this way because it's never this way.
Yeah.
So maybe there are philosophical solutions to technical problems out there in the world.
Yeah. Anyhow,
this was good.
This was really good. I liked all the different art styles throughout. They were each different, but not so different as to feel completely alienating to the others, if that makes any sort of sense.
It was still cohesive, It's that album that have a lot of songs and they don't all sound the same, but it all sounds like it's the same band. So it's cool.
Right. Yeah. Really, really good collaborative effort on this one. I enjoyed this a lot. I think this is one of the stronger Batgirl issues we've had in a while. Plus, it pays off a lot of stuff.
It really does. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I thought that this was going to be the finale. So I am my one thing is I am kind of worried that the next issue might be kind of a letdown, just sort of like a battle sequence, end thing, whatever. But it hasn't let me down yet. So
yeah, I bet
maybe
they
I'm
throw
just
in
being a pessimist.
Yeah, I bet they throw in some fun stuff to make it worth reading. Yeah, and we're getting close to the end of all of this, and we're gonna get Rebirth. So who knows what's gonna happen to this?
Afterbirth.
I'm gonna be sad to see this go if it goes.
Yeah,
but
maybe it'll be bi-weekly.
Yeah, I doubt it.
No.
But we'll just have to see what Stuart Fletcher and Tar all go off and do next, because I intend to follow these people, because I've really enjoyed all of their work so far on this. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the last title we have. This is Sheriff of Babylon. This is King and Gerads. Any idea?
We do this every time.
Gerads. Would somebody please help us out on that? Help me out.
Yeah. Maybe we can tag him on Twitter and he can spell it out phonetically for us.
Maybe so. Okay, so what happens with this?
So some shit hits fans, and some shit that we thought hit fans didn't hit the fans as hard as we originally imagined it did.
I still love this.
Yeah.
This is getting just better and better.
The first sequence in this, when she's talking about the origin of her name or whatever, like, it's so cool.
It is really cool.
And just like the reflections that she has on it after that, it's like, tell a cool story and then take the coolest fucking thing away from it that you possibly could. Yeah.
Okay, so let's kind of talk about this piece by piece. First, we have the dream sequence that happens at the beginning.
Well, it's not really a dream sequence. She's just...
Well, yeah, you're right. But I mean, it's called The Dream in the Desert. The Dream in the Desert. So I kind of saw it as kind of dream sequency, but I see what you mean. It's not really a dream sequence, but it's artistically the work that Gerads did here is beautiful. I love this first sequence. The coloring is so strikingly different from what we've had so far that it just immediately makes you realize that they're going to start stretching their legs now with this as we move into number 4.
Yeah, it's all like spring colors and shit, which is diametrically opposite of everything that's usually in this. You know, usually all we get is like browns and blacks and maybe a little bit of white here and there.
Right. So spoiler on this series is going to happen in this review. So
Sure.
if you don't want spoiled, which if you haven't read this and you like anything else King has done, move forward. Don't watch us here. I hate to say that, but this is cool and you need to read it. So spoilers from this point on.
Cool.
So Sophia is alive.
She is.
Armored truck. Fair enough.
Yeah.
She is like a state diplomat or whatever. It doesn't.
She's important, and yeah, I probably would protect my shit too.
Yeah.
Fucking duh.
I thought that because she was still alive, it might soften the issue and make it less impactful, but it does not, because the story manages to go a different direction and do some new cool stuff that really keeps the tension and excitement ratcheted up.
Yeah.
So it pays off, even though...
Just huge tension at the end.
Yeah.
Which we haven't gotten to yet. But.
Right. So we get the story that she tells. We get this awesome sequence where she's talking to her doctor. And then we move on to this awesome next sequence. So what did you get out of this whole section where he's talking to the kid, out of these couple pages here?
I think the big obvious thing is that, I mean, the kid was trying to sell him stuff, and at one point he reaches for something in his pocket, and the dude's worried that he's going to pull out a gun and fucking shoot him.
Right. Yeah. It does such a good job after this soft kind of section with Sophia of ratcheting the tension right back up by showing even a kid, selling you this little mat, or it's like a doormat that he's selling to him, can become this hugely tense, life-threatening situation, and it just ratchets it right back up. Like, don't forget, like, everybody is killing everyone, right? Or at least could be. And then we get this awesome thing at the church, right, where we get more of that. So we have the tension from the last bit where he's afraid of a kid, right? And so then we move to a church, and some more shit goes down in a church, right? So what did you think of this whole thing with Nasir? I love Nasir more and more with every
It's
issue.
fucking crazy. It's another one of those things where, I mean, I got the same feeling after reading this that I think I did after I found out that she was alive still. But it's like, I didn't expect it, but then I have to ask myself the question, if I was in that environment, would this be like a no-duh kind of thing? I mean, is this the kind of thing that, people talk about having in place just in case, so to speak? Which, again, I mean, it seems like a logical thing, that they would have a plan. It makes sense that they're abducted by these religious radicals, and he's like, hey, can you take me to this mosque? Like, of course they're going to fucking do it.
Right. So yeah, he's basically has this plan with his wife. Hey, if people ever come to take me, wait for me at the mosque, right? And I'll try to get them to go to the mosque with me so you can save my ass, basically. And so that's what we get here. He takes them onto base. One thing I'd really like to point out that they're doing so well in this issue, they've done it a little bit in the previous issue as well. Mostly anytime Nasir is around, this begins to happen, where we get this culture clash between Christopher and Nasir, where mostly it has to do with perspective and how language is used. the Iraqis all tend to speak in metaphor and with a lot of like philosophical tinge to what they speak. Like they're very metered and slow with their conversation in this book. And everything, like if they're going to talk, they tend to try to impart wisdom to each other and to others. But then we get Christopher, who's very blunt and direct. And typical American speech, the way we generally talk to one another.
Yeah. Hey, kid, I'm looking for fucking this guy. If I give you money,
right.
You tell me if you've seen him.
Right. And I think it's very intentional of King, being somebody who's spent time over there and saw this firsthand. And I think it's the most impactful part for me of reading this is getting a glimpse into that culture as it pushes against like Americanism, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have you felt that at all with this?
Yeah, definitely. The other thing that I found interesting was just the method of politeness. For some reason, I always notice how different cultures are like distinctly polite. Like there's like Southern etiquette, and then there's like the Midwest kind of politeness, and then there's like the British type politeness, and then I've seen the German type as well. And this is just like a little bit different than all those. It's just, I don't know, it's just interesting the way that you just phrase certain things or respond to certain things. Mm-hmm. But you can still be shitty about it, but like polite and shitty.
Right.
And Sophia, she's like exceptionally good at that. So I just love reading her character every time.
I mean, the real takeaway here, I think what we're both getting at is just King's amazing ability to put character onto page within this culture. Mm-hmm. His portrayal of these characters is just awesome. I love it so much. Yeah. It makes me want him to just write stories about these people. It's, I think this is going to be well, maybe not. I mean, this feels like something that would be a limited series, and I wish it wasn't, because I want to just read about these characters for a long time.
Yeah, does it say that it is?
Not on the front, at least.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I mean, there are like a million directions that you could take it. I mean, we're still fucking there.
Right.
So as long as there's shit going on, I mean, there's theoretically source material.
Yeah, and he just writes it so... He writes all of these characters so well, and they have such amazing voice.
So since we're doing scene by scene, why don't we talk about this last one where they're talking about like the plan and how they're going to move forward and stuff. And I think I already touched on it a little bit because... Sophia's real big in this, and she's like politely shitty about things. But what was your big takeaway from this last scene?
Well, again, I think really what I got most from it was just all the nuance in character and writing.
Specifically, the very end.
Oh yeah, the big reveal at the end with Nasir actually killing her family.
Yeah.
Big reveal. I don't know, but
super shit hitting the fan.
Right, but yet they're stuck working together. But it also reveals a little bit more of maybe why, even though they work together, they're not exactly friendly, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if she knows.
Maybe not. I mean, she comes off in this to me as somebody who will work with anyone to get the job done, right?
Sure.
If her ends and their ends are the same, then that's good enough, it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a big part of the point here is the pragmatism required of these people.
It seems like something's going to become of that, though. Or maybe he's going to, like, confront her about it. I mean, I don't think this is just kind of like he's going to say that, and then it's never going to be touched on again.
No, yeah, so it's not a throwaway.
I'm interested to see where it goes.
I would not be surprised if we get some flashback stuff next issue where it really goes into what happened with her family.
That'd be rad.
Yeah, it'd be super rad. Like I said, he's my favorite character, so I'd love to see like young Nasir.
Yeah.
Slaughtering.
Back in the 70s with a fro, machine gun.
Yeah. Nasir, damn right.
Nasir. All right. Well.
Cool. Well, that's all we have this week, just the 3 issues. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us. On Monday, we will have monthly review, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Monday we will have the monthly review where we go back and talk about our favorites and least favorites in February. Man, I got my months right. I guess we all that, but we should probably let them know that I will be gone for a couple of Poll List episodes. I'm getting married, going out of town.
Look at this guy.
So I will not be here. Are you gonna have some special guests on?
They're just gonna have to wait and find out.
Wait and find out. Cool. So a little bit of a shakeup for the next couple weeks, but we do have some Monday issues in the can, so you will get those. So you'll get your fix of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Junkies.
Yeah. Fools. Got you in the palm of my hand.
All 5 of you.
Yeah. They all love us. So, yeah, Facebook and Twitter and like and subscribe. Anybody else reading Sheriff of Babylon? If you're not, you what? But what? Read Sheriff of Babylon. Bye.